You know,
Matthew, just maybe first impressions of Patricia. Let's talk to the fact that he's looking forward to having some conversations with you. Maybe you can see football a little bit from a different perspective, him being defensive minded. I'm just curious what your first impressions and maybe you're looking forward to having some of those conversations.
yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Obviously he comes from a program that's won a lot of football games a lot of different ways, and he's a smart guy. So we'll enjoy those conversations when they come around. Obviously he's met with the team a couple times, but he's just got great energy, great passion for the game. He, like everybody else in this building, just wants to win, and that's our goal. But in the meantime, he understands the process of it, and just harps on that to us. It's early right now. It's on us to improve ourselves this time of year, and that's what we're worried about at the moment.
Most of the free agent additions were on the defensive side, but you got a pretty big one in LeGarrette. Just your initial impressions of him and what he brings to the locker room and the offense.
Yeah, obviously I'm a football fan. I've watched him play a lot of meaningful, important games, and he's played really well in those games. So excited to have him. Big physical guy. Does a really nice job in the red area. Scored a lot of touchdowns in his career rushing the football, and it's an area we can improve in. And I think as far as his experience, the games that he's played in for as long as he's played, and that at the level he's played at, it's going to bring a lot to that room, to our offense, and to our team.
This is the first that we've heard from you since the end of the season. So just your thoughts on the changes as a whole, bringing Matt in, keeping Jim Bob, some of the things that they've done to keep some continuity on offense, I guess.
I think obviously, change happens in the NFL. It's almost inevitable. I think the goal is to play well enough to not have those changes. Obviously, we didn't in the past, but I think the biggest thing is to move forward. And like you said, Jim Bob stuck around as the offensive coordinator, and so some of that continuity will be helpful for us, hopefully.
You made the point, obviously, after the season that you wanted him to stay. Can you share some of the conversations you had with Bob or Rod about that after the season, what you told them in that regard?
No, but it wasn't. I mean, guys, it's not like I'm making those decisions, and tell you the truth, they asked me an opinion. You guys asked me a question. I'm going to answer it honestly. Whether that means anything to anybody else in the building doesn't make much of a difference. I was just saying what I said to be honest, and it ended up being that Jim Bob stayed.
What Jim Bob is saying, do you think there are things in the offense that need to be tweaked?
Oh, we're always looking to find ways to be better. I think if you just look at it statistically from the past year, I think we can, be better in a number of areas, and we'll put a lot of time and effort and focus into that this offseason, and hopefully it'll come to fruition kind of during the season, and it's a long process getting there.
Is there a specific area that you think you need to be better at this point?
There's a bunch. I can always be better. I think obviously I think I turned the ball over probably too many times last year. Got the ball knocked out of my hands or threw it to the other team too many times. Every offseason you're looking at those and hating watching them again and trying to find ways to make sure they don't happen again. So that's a huge one. Obviously a big one always in the NFL is turnovers, so I can always be better doing that.
You got all four of your top four receivers coming back. You talked about continuity a little bit. How beneficial is that to have all four of those?
It's good. It's nice. I think it's on us to, continue to improve, though. We can't sit there and say, hey, we had a good year last year. Let's just go do that again. We got to find ways to be better, find ways to be more efficient, more explosive, all of it, and put points on the board.
You have the same offensive coordinator, but a new head coach. Do you think the offense will be different, or with the same offensive coordinator, is it mostly the same?
I think that's kind of yet to be seen. I think a lot of those guys upstairs are doing a ton of draft stuff coming up. They just got done with free agency, and I think all that kind of stuff is going to come to a head when we start playing football. At this moment, we're working out, we're running around, and I'm taking the guys out there and throwing to them and stuff like that. So I think having the same offensive coordinator, probably majority the same, but I'm sure there will be differences.
What do you think you guys need as a team, maybe personnel-wise or whatever, to be a consistent contender?
I'm not going to get into that. I mean, it's not my job. I just go out there and play, and try to play at as high level as I possibly can. So that's what I'm worried about at the moment. Doing everything I can to be in as good a shape and as ready to go as I can possibly be.
Matthew, last year was the first you didn't have a veteran quarterback, somebody that maybe had even more experience than you. Got Matt Castle in here this offseason. I wonder what was missing, I guess, without having that veteran presence in the room to help you last year?
I don't know. I think we had a pretty good room last year. I don't know if anything was missing. I think I think our head coach probably has some familiarity with Matt, obviously playing in New England, and Coach Patricia was there, so it's two Matts. Tough to talk about which one I'm talking about, but I think that had something to do with it. I think Matt Castle has earned a lot of respect around the league for being a quality player when called upon. So again, those are decisions outside my realm. I just go out there and play, and any guy that can help us win, I'm happy to have.
Yeah, you're 30 years old, going into your 10th year. I mean, it's being in the league this amount of time. How much easier does it make you to adapt to change, just to accept what comes in the National Football League?
Yeah, I think the longer you're in it, the more you understand it. Doesn't make it maybe easier, but you understand that it happens, and it happens across the league. We're not the only place it happens, and you just got to find ways to adapt and make sure that come September you're playing the right kind of football.
And also within your own offense, do you just see things that you've seen before that you're able to assimilate quickly, as opposed to as a second or third year player?
Yeah, no question. Again, it goes back to experience. Can draw on experience with previous coordinators, can draw on experience of previous games, previous years, games where we played well, where we didn't, and build from there. So that's kind of where we are in the process right now of looking at all things and trying to find ways to be better.
Yeah, Matthew, being a crafty veteran, how much time do you spend watching the NFL draft? You paying any attention to it at all?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm a fan, just like everybody, but it's tough to be a rookie in this league and make a huge impact. It's almost very seldom do you see that happen. Guys step in and just be absolute stars. Now it happens, and it's awesome when it does. But I think it's my job probably now more than ever as a veteran on this team to help bring those guys along, make that transition as easy as I possibly can for them. It's not easy. There's a lot to learn and a lot that I can tell them that they're going to have to experience to really learn it. So I do the best I can to try and bring those guys along.
That draft, there's 4 or 5 quarterbacks that might go like in the top 5. Do you pay attention, because you were one of those guys once being picked apart and whether or not you deserved, I don't know, do you pay attention to those quarterbacks?
Yeah, casually. I think I'm interested, just to see what happens. I think there's, a lot that can happen on draft night. I think that all of that, trades and movement and all that kind of stuff is really interesting to me. But as far as who goes where, I don't care. But I just, hope those guys have the best career they can have.
What advice would
For
you
fans, they see a new coach brings hope, brings excitement. Is it the same way for players when that new voice comes in, that there is a little bit of excitement amongst players?
Yeah, I think so. We're bringing in a guy from a team that has a lot of wins under his belt, and obviously he's a first-time head coach, but has thought about this, I'm sure, for a long time and how he wants things to go. So we're excited to have him. Like I said earlier, he's bringing great energy, great passion for the game. It's on us to match that and exceed it, and as leaders of this team to kind of filter that message down and make sure everybody's pulling in the same direction. And it's exciting at the beginning of every football season, which it kind of is now, every year. I love playing the game. I love being here with the locker, in the locker room with all these guys, and that part of it is a whole lot of fun for me.
having been there a decade ago, what advice would you give to those 4 quarterbacks who, any of them could be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? Having learned what you've learned, what advice would you give them?
I think it's tough. Every experience is different. Some of those guys are going to go to teams all across the board and in different positions as a team, as an organization, as a roster, all that. But I think the biggest thing you can do is just go be yourself. Go be yourself, work hard, and let the chips fall where they may. And I think if those guys do that, they'll be successful. All those guys are super talented. You watch them play in college football, and they do a great job for their teams. And just go out there, have fun doing it, and let it fly.
Let me maybe be a little more specific. Cleveland obviously went 0-16 last year. They're probably going to draft a quarterback. You came in after an 0-16 season. What maybe specific advice would you give whoever that quarterback ends up being, because you understand that situation?
Yeah, I don't think my advice would change. I think that's all you can do is be yourself. Just go in there, work hard, show those guys, you know, in that locker room that what you're about, and whatever it is that you're about, that it'll come out, and they'll either accept you or they won't, and then you go play.
You know any of those guys just through age?
I don't. No. Thanks, guys.
By the way.
What's up? Yeah, appreciate it.